let's get to XRP, because XRP has got, there's an update as of June 17th. So we definitely want to cover this because I think this is pretty interesting. The SEC has officially opened proceedings to determine whether to approve or disapprove the proposed listing of the Franklin XRP ETF on SIBO BZX. I don't know what that is. Good grief. Here's what it means. And by the way, Generation Infinity, Genfinity, this is a great crypto channel. And we were talking about working together. I'm not sure whatever happened with that. I'm gonna have to reach back out and see if we can see what we can do here. Mr. Nobody says, glad I watched the live stream. I found some value here. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. So what's being proposed? Well, Franklin XRP ETF would hold physical XRP. The custody would be by Coinbase Custody Trust. Price tracking would be CF Benchmark CME XRP Dollar Index. Creation, redemption in 50,000 share blocks, and listed under BZX Rule 14.11E4 for commodity-based trust shares. This is good for any cryptocurrency, by the way. If you can hold, because there's a lot of people, I meet people all the time who they're just not going to buy crypto. Even they're not even going to trust Coinbase. Okay, like you and I, we're like, well, we might not trust Coinbase for the other side of it. Like we might think it's not decentralized enough. Other people, it's like too new and crazy. They don't want to do that. AF live now. Is the Algorand Foundation live now? Should I like refresh? Not that I see. I'm live. Anyway. So anyway, Xavier Martin says, do you think ECB's CBDC decision this fall might involve Algorand? Yeah, we can maybe look at that. We're on XRP right now, so we'll save that for, I want to get through this XRP segment. Key dates, March 13th, CBO BZX files proposal with the SEC. March 19th, the proposal published in the Federal Register. On April 29th, the SEC extends the review deadline. June 17th, SEC issues order instituting procedures. Next key deadline likely is around September 9th, which would be the 180-day mark. Now, what is happening now with XRP? And you'll notice like there's an XRP one. We're going to talk about the Hedera one more recent, also in the Hedera segment. But you notice they're kind of sticking to like top 20. This is why it's bad that Algorand is down in the 50s when it used to be in the top 20. There's a strong possibility if it had stayed there. Xavier Martin says, fair, thank you, Frugal. Yeah, I appreciate that. Just remind me if I forget too, because I do want to, well, we will look into that a little bit. I think this is important because if Algorand had been in the top 20 right now, instead of the 55, you know, there might be an Algorand XRP, I'm sorry, an Algorand ETF in the works, and we're not getting that, which sucks. But good for XRP and good for HBAR. Like I have those too, so I'm happy for both of those. Now the SEC hasn't made a final decision. It's launching a formal investigation to assess whether the listing protects investors, prevents manipulation, it meets the standard under the Section 6B5 of the Exchange Act. Public comments welcome. SEC is requesting public feedback, especially on whether XRP's market structure can support fair pricing and resist manipulation. And I think what's going to happen, I think some folks who are like on other chains might try to go on and trash it. I don't think people should do that. I think your best bet is to support all the ETFs, because that means your coin is more likely to happen. That's my, you know, unless they're like the really bad coins, you know, if someone wants to make a Gala ETF, I'd be like, I don't know about that. Sasha says, so the SEC seems to always have delays with anything related to XRP. I don't think that's the way it is. You know, these things take time. They don't happen overnight. They want to make sure they're doing this correctly. I think that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Anyway, let's go back. We got more XRP, and I thought this was kind of cool. Let me find this. I should probably start using, oh, here we go. Yeah, Alchemy Pay. I'm sure you guys have seen this. You know, Algorand has a connection with Alchemy Pay. Usually not the best way to buy stuff. It's a little bit expensive, but it says, we're proud to partner with Ripple to power fiat on-ramps for RLUSD. It's fully backed, compliant stablecoin. It's fully backed, compliant stablecoin. Now available through your favorite local payments methods. And Alchemy Pay makes it accessible to 173 countries. So this is really good for Ripple. And you want this, if you have this coin, you want this. Someone's asking about Cardano, or when RLUSD will be on Cardano. That's kind of a strange thing to care about. Integration allows users in 173 jurisdictions to purchase RLUSD through 300 plus payment methods, including Google Pay, Apple Pay, cards, mobile wallets. Yeah, you definitely want this. If you want this for your chain, for sure, even if you're not using it personally. I mean, this is the thing you have to think about. Always think about the big picture. Don't think about like, am I going to do this myself? Think, well, will this bring other people to the blockchain? Whichever chain it is. Partnership aims to reduce barriers for institutions and consumers seeking compliant stablecoin access, leveraging Ripple's regulatory expertise. Alchemy Pay reports strong growth with 3 million registered users and 8 million transfers, marking 3x growth in 2024. That's from a guy named Tatsuya Korogi. Oh, it's a Japanese guy, huh? This is the ecosystem growth guy at Ripple. I should follow him. I'll follow him. Tatsuya calling himself Tats. I like that. That's a good point. The rating on Trustpilot looks horrible. Alchemy Pay seems to be scammers. I don't know about scammers, but they're probably overpriced. Did I have one more Ripple thing? I thought I had one more Ripple thing. Let me see. I think this was the same one. This was just him talking about it. Oh no, this one, we had this one too. And I think I talked about this on my show earlier too, but this is North America's first XRP ETF is now live on the Toronto Stock Exchange via 3iQ. So this is so we were talking about the American one going through the SEC, but this is the first one in North America going live on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Here's the little snippet. The 3iQ XRP ETF is now live on the Toronto Stock Exchange, offering regulated, transparent access to one of crypto's most battle-tested assets. And that is probably a good sign for the American version if they look to Canada, who I think is probably more restrictive on this stuff, and is saying, hey, great, this is cool. If they see like Toronto's okay, the Toronto Stock Exchange is okay with it, like Canada's government is okay with this, I think that's going to be a good sign. Plus, with the current environment in the SEC, I would say that means it's probably going to happen. Now, this is a zero management fee for 6 months, early fund investment by Ripple, cold storage secured, and 10,800% growth since 2015. Yeah, I mean, that's like the launch, right? I would do always be a little skeptical of these numbers. If you're just talking launch price, unless you have a botched launch like Algorand, yeah, a lot of them are going to look like this. That doesn't mean you're going to get these kind of gains in the next like 10 years, right? In fact, I would say almost 100% you're not going to. Anyway, 3iQ rings the closing bell today at the TSX to celebrate XRPQ's debut. This comes After the success of 3iQ's SolQ, which is the Solana staking ETF, now managing 120 million accounts under management, providing 3iQ's leadership in first-to-market regulated digital assets ETF. Yeah, so I mean, we rich yet? What is rich? It's funny. I think stuff like this is great, and it says a lot about the strength of crypto right now, that everybody is looking at this stuff. So that's our XRP news. And you know, I am a holder of XRP. Like, I think I've talked about this. I own a lot of other crypto besides Algorand. Algorand's just the one I do probably the most content on, because I think there's a lot going on the chain.